Hi guys, you found this video one of two ways. The first way is that you watched my kind of blog about the UK launch party, and the second way is that it is after June 27th, and so this has just been put up normally again. Either way, hello. If it's before June 27th, remember that we're not supposed to kind of blurt out spoilers for a while, which is why this is unlisted until then. Kind of keep it to yourselves, and if you're not going to keep it to yourselves, tag it with City of Heaven and Fire spoilers, COFH spoilers, TMI spoilers, any of those, so that people who haven't read the book yet don't end up being spoiled. If it's after June 27th, then still try not to spoil people, but you don't have to be as religious about it, because most people will have read the book a month after it comes out. But yeah, so let's get on to this book review. So the very, very start of this book review is going to be non-spoilery, but it's not going to last very long. It's a big book, it's 733 pages long, and then there's extra content at the back. So most of this review is going to be spoiler. But there are a couple of things that I want to say before I go on to the spoiler. So first things first is that this book cover is lovely. I really like it. I hadn't seen the fan-made one that was on Goodreads until after I read the book. The one on Goodreads which is fan-made is beautiful. If they do a kind of alternate version thing, they should totally use it. It's gorgeous. And the alternate version's got Simon and Isabel on the front, I think. This is obviously Clary and Sebastian / Jonathan / Dickhead. And I really like the cover. I think once you've read the book, it is very all the covers have got hints at the storyline, but you can't tell the hints until after you've read the book. And I think some people were disappointed with this one that there wasn't more of a cityscape here. I mean, there is one, it's just there, but it's kind of more in the background than in previous books. But I think this works really well, and once you've read the book, I hope you will agree. The other thing that I'm super, super pleased with about this book is that it's the right edition. What I mean by that is that when I bought Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, Clockwork Princess, City of Fallen Angel, City of Lost Souls, they were all in this kind of larger than usual, not a paperback but not a hardback format, and they disappear very quickly, and I can't figure out why. Someone told me that they were the trade paperback editions, but I just think they're the hardback editions. I know the first three come in hardback, and I know that all of them come in hardback in the US, but I don't know whether that's true here. I've never seen a City of Fallen Angel hardback copy in the UK. But so I really liked the fact that it was it matched all the other ones that I owned, because I didn't own the first three when I bought this one. I do own them now, and I bought them in trade paperback. It's fine! I'll buy them second hand, trade paperback size, they'll all be the same size and the right style, and they've got it, and they're not. The first three match each other, and then the rest of them match the rest. But the first three are this tall, rather this tall, and they're shiny, which is nice. Don't get me wrong, I'm liking the shiny covers, but it's wrong. They don't match. But I'm just gonna put up with it. I will grow through. I've got a thing about matching sets. My pride and joy with book matching sets is a series of unfortunate events, because it's got all of them in hardback and they look gorgeous. But anyway, back to this book. And the other thing that's non-spoilery, it's funny. If you've read Cassandra Clare's other books, which you will need to have done, you will need to have read at least the rest of the City of books, the TMI books, for the rest of this review, and probably her other books. I haven't read the Magnus Bane Chronicles yet, so you won't need to have read those for this review. But it may contain spoilers for Clockwork Princess and Clockwork Prince and Clockwork Angel, so it's probably best to have read pretty much everything she's written. But it's funny. People always talk about how YA literature is so funny and it makes you laugh and stuff. And that is true, but with a lot of YA fiction, it's just funny, and it's not real life funny. This is real life funny. If you've got a group of teenagers teenagers and you put them in a room together for like more than 20 minutes and they're friends, you're gonna have sex jokes, basically. You're just gonna have them pissing about a bit, and a lot of YA books don't take advantage of that because often the humour's really crass. Like it's not highbrow humour, and when you're writing a book, you want to try. A lot of people try and stay with highbrow humour, which is great and is useful. But I liked the fact that in this, like every other page or something, there was a joke that I felt like, oh, that's funny because I know people who would totally say that kind of thing. And just Clary, very, very, very near the beginning, like it's not a spoiler at all. Someone tells her that Jace is crazy, and she says, yeah, but he's hot, so there's that. And they're just like they're kind of light-hearted jokes that I really, really like. So yeah, that's. I'm sorry for non-spoilery people. There's a pitiful review. Like it's tiny, it's beautiful. Go and read this book. If you haven't read any of her books and you just clicked on this because it's listed now, the basic premise of these books, and when I say these books, I mean there's 6 in this series, and there's a prequel trilogy, and there's going to be at least 2, I think it's 2, it might be 3 more series after this one finishes. There's like a religious book in this book series, and she wrote an edition of that. She like published a book called The Codex, and there's like a set of 10 short stories about one of the characters in this that like lives forever. I really like them. This series predominantly is about this girl in front called Clary who discovers the world of shadow hunters, who are these people. They've got angel blood in them. They're human beings, but they've got angel blood in them. They fight demons, and on occasion downworlders, who are fairies, warlocks, vampires or werewolves. Werewolves are obviously humans who have been bitten. Then fairies are the offspring of demons and angels. So they've got both demon blood and angel blood in them, so they're beautiful like angels' blood. But they can't lie. And then vampires, humans bitten vampires. They're the right kind of vampires. There's none of this sparkling shit. They die instantly. And they do need to drink blood. Warlocks are the offspring of humans and demons, and they can do magic. And they look mainly human, but they will have a mark, something that looks demonish. So like Magnus Bane, the guy in these books, has got cat eyes rather than eyes, or like a tail, or pointed ears, or claws rather than nails, things like that. So this series of books is kind of about her discovering this world and how dangerous it is, and discovering that she is a shadow hunter. But you should totally read these books. They're lovely. I devoured these books. Basically every single one that I got, I just read them within like a day of getting them. And then the prequel series, which is The Infernal Devices, is about another girl, and that's set in like 1800s London, whereas this is set in 2007 in New York. It's 2014, and this is the last book, and I'd kind of forgotten that it all takes place within like 6 months. So the first one starts in like July. This book starts in December 2007. That was 6.5 years ago. 6.5 years. I was 11 when these books were set. 11, nearly 12, but still, like, I love them so much. But yeah, so that's the end of the non-spoilery review. Again, I'm really sorry that this review, non-spoilery review, has been so bad. I will be rereading all of her books this summer. So I will probably be doing a kind of, as I go along, reviews and a kind of, oh look at all these intertwined things. Because maybe I can't remember the names. But yeah, go and read this book. It is out in all UK decent bookshops. So Waterstones, W.H. Smith's. I'm trying to think what other bookshops we have that are good. Like there are a couple more. Waterstones is my go-to bookshop. But Amazon definitely has these already. People are probably selling them on eBay already. But yeah, definitely go and get this book if you have read the previous 5. If you haven't read the previous 5, go and get those ones. They will be in your library. But they look a lot like this, or there's another UK edition where it's like faces with marks down the side. Go and read this. Go. Okay, so spoiler review. It's gonna take a long time, and I'm sorry about that, but it just is. Big book. So I finished this book in hang on. I got this book at 4 p.m. Finished it before 10 p.m. the following day. So that's what, 28 hours? 28 hours, okay. But you've got to also factor in I had 5 hours of sleep, so that's 23 hours. And I spent 4 hours walking around the Harry Potter studio tours. Like, it did only take me 24 hours of time I could have been reading. Probably only took me 18 hours. But like, I kept having to stop during the night and kind of like breathe mainly and kind of calm myself down, because I was like, she revealed before the books came out that 6 named characters were going to die. So every chapter, and like whenever something bad happened, I was like, they're going to die. You can cope with this, it'll be fine. They'll die, but you will manage. And yeah. Let's start from the beginning and work our way through, shall we? Prologue. I liked the introduction of Emma and Julian and all of the Blackthorn kids. I liked that way of introducing these characters that are going to be in the next series, because the last Hours series is going to be about Emma Carstairs, but they're set kind of like 2012-ish time. So she's 16, I think, when those books happen, and she's only 12. And I really liked the kind of setting up of that series in a really subtle way, so that if you didn't want to read Last Hours, you wouldn't need to. But if you did want to read Last Hours, you had a bit of backstory. I'm very intrigued by Helen and Mark. I want to know if Emma and Mark are a thing, because there was that flirty thing at the beginning about her noticing all the time Julian coming out and staring. And obviously you can't fall in love with your parabatic. It's not allowed by Clave law. Which I can kind of understand, but also that's a bit shit. If I'm in love with someone so much as a Shadowhunter, like they go on and on about how Shadowhunters fall in love and it's all there is for them. It's all there is, like. Because I like the Jace Alec relationship, and I like the Will Jem relationship. It'd be nice to have a girl as a parabatic, because obviously Tessa can't be one. And Sophie is too old to have one. This is in Family Crisis. Tessa can't have one. Sophie is too old when she becomes a Shadowhunter. Jessie just doesn't care, and then shit happens anyway. And Charlotte doesn't have one. She's definitely too old to get one by the time the books start. And then like Izzy doesn't have one in these books. Although I think if Izzy and Clary had met earlier, they would have been parabatic, because they work together quite well. It mentions that the back cover says that there's a betrayal, like a really hard-hitting betrayal. And they mention this really broad-shouldered man at the beginning in the prologue. And I was trying to figure out who it was, and I thought it might have been Robert Lightwood. And I was really like, I knew that the Sealy Queen wasn't really on the good guy's side, so I was a little bit disappointed when it was only murder. I liked the setup. I kind of stopped taking notes at this point because I was just devouring it a lot. This book didn't make me cry, which I can't tell if that's because the deaths weren't what I was expecting. Let's go back to the first death. So Cradle Scott. He was named in a previous book. We've met him. We've talked to him. He's dead. Second person who dies is Jordan. Okay, so Cradle Scott is dead, and Maya's been talking about this thing that she needs to tell Jordan. She needs to tell him. 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 She needs to tell him he's dead. I thought that was really, really good. I didn't cry at Jordan's death, but that might have been because I was kind of saying I can't cry at this because someone big is going to die, and then I'll just be weeping. And B, it was in public, and like I think, I don't know, I didn't want to cry though, because it was very early in the book to be crying already. And I was kind of thinking, shit, what is she gonna tell him? What's she gonna tell him? And I thought she was pregnant, to be honest. Like, I was like, she's pregnant, shit. The offspring of 2 werewolves, this is gonna go down really weirdly. Like, she's 16, she's pregnant, haven't had that yet. Incest, check. Underage sex, check. Parent kidnapping, check. Weird adoption-y things, check. Teenage pregnancy, not yet. But obviously it wasn't that, it was she was going to break up with him. Which I can kind of understand. I did like Mara and Jordan as a couple, but reading her side of it, I hadn't thought about, like, I kind of glazed over the fact that he hit her. Like, I know he was transforming into a werewolf and all of that shit, but I kind of glazed over that was a thing, and I think if that is a thing that happens to someone, forgiveness, like true forgiveness, is very difficult and not really warranted. And then she just becomes head of the clan. Okay, so the other guy, the werewolf that challenged Bat, like I thought Bat was dead, but he wasn't. But the other guy, I can't remember what his name is, but we have met him previously as well. So he's a third named character that's died, and we're not even halfway through the book yet. Who else dies? Raphael dies near the end. So that's 4. Who else dies? Sebastian dies. Yay! But yeah, Raphael dies, so that's 4. Sebastian dies, which is 5. I liked that Clary killed him. I was glad it wasn't Jason. Oh, Amethyst. Now 6. 6 people. It's everyone. There's a point where you think Izzy's gonna die, and I was ready to cry at that point, and then Simon saved her. Like, I'm not unhappy that he saved her because I'm so happy about that. But it's just, she built up all of this. Oh, 6 named characters are gonna die. 6 named characters are gonna die. 6 named characters are gonna die. One of them's gonna be a boyfriend, and then the biggest person that we lose is Jordan. Not that I have anything against Jordan as a character. I'm not. It didn't make me weep. That's not a bad thing. I like the happy ending. There were a couple of things that I completely forgot to mention while I was recording the review for this book. So I'm just going to intersperse them actual book. She said there'll be 6 named characters who die. So far I've counted 8. But I feel like there's a 9th, but I can't remember. So Jordan, Cradle Scott, Rufus Hastings, again, not at all a main character, but we did meet him in a previous book and he did die. Maureen, Raphael, Amethyst, Merlin, and Sebastian. So that's 8, but I feel like there's a 9th that I'm missing, and I've been scouring through the book and I can't remember who it is. I wanted there to be more main character depth, not like I actually wanted it because I didn't want any of the main characters to die, but I felt like it was a bit of a cop-out because so many people died, but they weren't named characters, but they weren't main characters. Like Jordan was the most, I guess quite a lot of them were main, just not necessarily good. So like Maureen, Raphael, Amethyst and Merlin were pretty central characters, they just weren't good guys. And then Sebastian was the big evil guy. So I guess there's quite a lot of main characters, and that is 6. Going a bit further back because I'm just all over the place with this book. As they're leaving, I liked the Clary Simon goodbye, I thought that was done really well. I loved that Magnus came and talked to Alec because I think it would have been very, very easy for Magnus to have just been seen as this cold-hearted dick who broke up with Alex and then was a complete twat. I liked the Jace Magnus conversation at Magnus's apartment. I liked that they kissed. Alec. I liked the Izzy Simon goodbye. I liked the fact that she gave him the necklace. But yeah, and then I thought the kidnapping of Simon was good. Meanwhile, Raphael has taken Simon to to Idris to convince him of Maureen being a complete bitch, Camille's dead. Like, she's actually dead. That's a big thing. I think it was a shame that we didn't get any more kind of like. And I think it's like one of those interlinking things. The necklace that Izzy has that glows when there's demons around, that was Camille's back in the 1800s, and I simultaneously think it's very good and a shame that Isabel never knew that. So then there's all these little romances. Like, there's a point at which Simon gets drunk by way of human blood, goes to Izzy's house, calls up to her and is like, "Oh, Izzy, I'm in love with you, I'm in love with you, I'm in love with you," and they've had this really weird nearly having sex thing in Alec and Jace's bedroom, which was great. And Alec comes in and just yells at them. But that scene is then kind of ruined by Izzy doing what she was doing because she was using him, which I think is a good way of her showing pain. I was a little bit annoyed that Simon wasn't more pissed with her about it, but he is in love with her. She's totally out of it. And he kind of walks past Isabel's house and starts like shouting up to her like, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." So she's already pissy with him. And Robert comes out and is like, "Who are you? Why are you yelling outside of my house? I'm the Inquisitor, I'm going to be all pompous prickage." Isabel earlier on the page yells down to Simon, "Which one of us is the shark? Which one of us is the shark?" And like, out of context, it's just really weird. And in context, it's funny, but it's still such a weird sentence to say. And just things like that. I really liked bits of it that were just kind of like, they didn't hugely move the story forward, but they're just little things that like make a book much more interesting. The other thing that I completely forgot to say when recording this video was when Brother Zachariah like heals Jace, he uses this rune on the palm of his hand, and Clary thinks she's seen the rune that she eventually uses to go into heaven fire. Now, did he actually use an erase healing rune on his hand and she just had a flash of like a vision, or did he use this like two wings joined by a bath? I don't really get that. Sebastian throughout all of this is being a complete dick and sleeping with the Sealy Queen and thinks he's in love with Barry. I liked all of the siblings. I really like Ty. I want to know more about Ty Blackthorne because I want to know. I like that he's not normal. Like, I can't tell if it's like a learning disability or a form of Asperger's or what it is. But I liked that he was different. Really want them to save Mark. Like, I want that to happen. I liked the dreams. I thought that there's a demon later on. I liked the demon realm. I liked the idea of them kind of having to go somewhere else to do this battle. Because they'd done a really, really big battle in the third book. And I know there was a battle going on in this one simultaneously. I feel like that could have been talked about more. It might have been talked about a lot, and I've just kind of glazed over it because I was in a real hurry to finish the book. So glad Harry and Jace have sex in this book, and I was like, as soon as it was a thing, I was really worried that she was going to die. Not because they were in any danger, but because so many books that I read at the minute that are YA books with a female protagonist are like, they have sex. It's been ages and ages and ages of putting it off and putting it off. They have sex, she dies. Twilight, they have sex and she dies. Divergent, they have... Oh, crud. No, it's fine, it's been out for ages. Divergent, they have sex and she dies. What else? What else is that true of? It's a very overused thing. I was glad that she didn't do this because that would have pissed me off quite a bit. I liked the demon realm. I like the alternate version of Shadowhunters that use the septum. I kind of like that Jonathan Shadowhunter in that one was a bit of a prick, because like being infused with angel blood is going to make you a bit of a prick. Like, oh, look at me, I can save the world, I'm human, but with the blood of an angel. Like, a lot of people suddenly become kind of ridiculous. Yeah, I feel like if I was to reread this book, and I'm sure that when I do reread this book, I'm gonna do notes probably, and reading this and then doing a review of it has kind of enforced the fact that I need to take notes when I read, which is never something I've done before. So it's really interesting. But like, I'm sure that I could record 7 different videos of this review and still not get everything that I want to get into the review. Like, it's a 700-page book. I don't think I could get everything in, because I don't think it's appropriate for me to just sit and go chapter by chapter all the things I liked and all the things I hated, because I think it would take the same amount of time as me just kind of reading through the book. But like, if there's anything in here that you really liked or really disliked, please feel free to kind of comment it, and I'm more than happy to have a discussion about it. Like, there are so many things in this book that I just don't that I would remember if someone said to me, oh, do you remember this bit? And I'd know all the details, but it's not the thing that sticks in the front of my mind, because mainly what sticks in the front of my mind is Simon becoming a shadow, and that, but I'm still not sure how I feel about that. And I'm a little bit annoyed that this is the last, I'm already annoyed that this is the last one, because I want the story to continue forever. But I'm a bit annoyed that I feel like it ended on a cliffhanger, and it probably wasn't a real cliffhanger, but it was things that I don't think have been resolved, and they might be resolved in the next series, because Cassandra Clare did say that his Shadowhunter name was a spoiler, and therefore maybe there's going to be people are going to be referred to a lot in the next series. I don't know, but I think if they're not, I'll be quite upset. Okay, so the other thing at the end of this is this fold out picture. Okay, so this fold out picture. So my best guess is Simon, Maya, Jace, Izzy, Alec. Okay? So like, if you haven't got the book, or you haven't got the book with this edition, this is what it looks like. And they've all got marks on their skin. Like, even who I'm assuming is Maya. And so does Simon, and he's carrying a little dagger. And Clary's not there. I don't understand when this is from. I don't understand, like, is it a prerequisite to the next book? Is it supposed to be from somewhere in this book? Is it supposed to be from somewhere in one of the other books? I can't, like, instinctually place it. Like, it's lovely, it's a really lovely drawing, but I don't know what it's supposed to be from, or, like, if those are even the right characters. Is it just a pretty picture? Is it supposed to have some relevance? I don't know. Please leave your ideas, because I really don't know. So one of these things was that there was a theory that I'd seen around on YouTube. I think I heard about it first from Cassandra books. I'll link her video in the DVD. About Isabel, because there's a mention in City of Lost Souls that Isabel has dark eyes and both of her parents are blue, and it was a thing about maybe one of them had an affair before Max, and I really liked the idea that Maris had had an affair with Valentine, and that Isabel was that child, and that Robert had just kind of assumed he was the father, and that's why that's why Isabel has dark eyes. And there was just kind of no mention of that in this book. So it's entirely possible that we've just made this up, but I really don't want it to be true. Like, I want there to be a paperback. I also want the resolution about Robert and Mars, because I feel like I don't really know what's happening there. And that's possibly just not a thing we're ever going to learn, because they're not the centre of attention in these books, and like most people aren't interested in what the parents of the main character do. But I'm quite interested to see what happened there. The only thing that I think I didn't like was the epilogue. So the end of this book kind of ends with Simon sacrificing his immortality and all of his memories about the Shadow World, including all of his memories about Chloe before she knew about the Shadow World. And this is done by a Prince of Hell. So, first off, Prince of Hell is going to be pretty damn powerful. Like, powerful enough that nothing would be left. Like, I don't know, it might be that because it's a memory spells never work, or something, but like, just bits. He says, oh, I'll take all the memories of all the mortals that knew him and knew her as well. And then the coffee girl at Java Jones is like, where's that girl who comes in with you? And all this is the black coffee. It's like, that wouldn't be in her head. That just wouldn't be there. And yeah, so then I liked the fact that his band was called the Mortal Instruments. I thought that was cute. I mean, not cute because the Mortal Instruments sounds like a really badass band. Like, that sounds really, really cool. But then, like, the idea that Magnus can just reverse it, and it doesn't really explain how he reverses it very well. It just kind of says, you can become a shadow hunter and get all of your memories back. So you're going to introduce him. And they talk about, oh, it should be his choice, it should be his choice. He can't choose. He didn't want to... I don't think he would have wanted to be a shadow hunter. Like, I don't know. It's a very short life. And he wanted to be a musician. I liked that Maya kept the apartment. Kind of was going to go through Jordan and Simon stuff. And good. I liked the wedding. Thought that was good. I liked that Jem became Jem again, but none of them knew him as Jem. They all kept calling him Zachariah, and it was like, his name is Jem. Stop it. It's fine if he wants to call himself Zachariah. But yeah, and then they just kind of brought his memories back, but not all at once. I think he would have been more bewildered than that, and confused, but also eager to see them. So he remembers who Clary is. He would have run at her. And I think it's a shame that that was done. Also, just like, it's May, and I think weirdness is only starting to happen now. Like the thing in Java Jones, I really didn't like that line. Why would this coffee girl have said it at all? And if she was going to say it, why didn't she say it back in January when Clary stopped coming to Java Jones? It's not going to take 5 months for this girl to realise that Clary's not around anymore, and that just pissed me off a little bit. Yeah, so that said, I did like Malik getting back together. I liked the kind of subtle putting in of the Bane Chronicles as a book within these books. I like that you saw Jonathan as kind of how he was supposed to be, as kind of like what would have happened. I liked her reaction to Simon leaving the room, but I thought that it was odd that she wouldn't go and talk to him when Harry went to talk to him, and wouldn't talk to him after his memories came back, but was more than happy to talk to him as she was offering him being a shadow hunter. I thought that was a bit odd. So yeah, I liked most of this book. I really, really liked it. So I think 8 out of 10, because that rating might go up after I reread it and after I've read the series again. But I think 8 out of 10 at the minute, because I didn't really like the epilogue. I didn't think it was explained. But yeah, so 8 out of 10. But still really, really good. Like, anything above a 7 is something that I will take with me to university probably, because I want to read them again and again and again. But yeah, so these books are great. I would definitely go and advise you to go and read them. Bane Chronicles comes out in November, and the first, last hours books come out next year. I think it's called Lady Midnight. I could be very wrong about that. But yeah, this was a good book. I hope you really liked it. I hope you like this review. If you want to talk to me about it, leave comments in the doobly-doo, leave comments, or you can talk to me about it through Tumblr or Facebook or Twitter. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye guys. Merline. I'm gonna call it